right, let's keep it going. But I think we overcorrected. And I think parents need to get out of kids' businesses. If you're a parent that fights your fights for your child, then you're gonna be a parent that fights your fights for your children when they're adults. And that's a problem. All of you know, here's a little preview to everybody on here. I'm getting serious about podcasts. We are gonna come out guns a-blazing. Pew, pew, pew. I don't even know what that was. Pew, pew, pew. Lasers, what am I, a robot? You know, I've just been thinking about it for a year, and now we're gonna do it. You know, live streaming in the morning with Tea with Gary Vee like this. You know, I just go with intuition. I go with what excites me. I go with what I feel. I go with what I want. I live a human life. I do not live an academic life. I do not live a guru told me life. I live a what's in my gut, how do I feel, what do I want to do. I'm a creator, I'm a builder, I'm deeply curious, I'm deeply creative, I'm deeply operational. All these things have serviced me well in the many businesses that I built, but more importantly, in the great joy that I've had for 3 decades. My 20s, 30s, and 40s were all phenomenally exciting and happy for me. Plenty adversities, plenty things I would tweak here and there, but I sit here today as a 50-year-old man, super thrilled with nothing but hunger, excitement, and ambition for my next 50 years. And I've done that on purely listening to myself. They tell athletes, listen to your body, right? I listen to my body, I listen to my soul. I'm super in with myself. It's me and me, me and I, myself with me. I'm in that place. No outside force matters. And that's how I make those decisions, Raghav. This is fucked up. They want to be original and niche, but they want to be focused on one subject, thus rendering them an inability to be unique. You want to talk about surfing, you're dead. You want to talk about being a surfer who also is taking psychology courses to be a therapist, who also is a deep expert in Indian food and microbrews. Now you've got someone. What's up, old pal?
It's been a while.
Yes, it has.
And we will jump in because I know I'm guessing you have
just kind of chipping along and building, and you know, I've really come to realize I'm an inherently very curious person who also really enjoys building more than the prizes that come along with building. So I've been in my back cave cooking up the concoctions, you know, and fighting crime at night.
What's the single most important mindset shift or unlearning that they need to do to catch up?
That they have no choice. Like, there's no crying in baseball, and there's definitely no crying in business. You know, and so, you know, I don't really understand the concept of dwelling or hoping or pontificating, thinking your words can stop a macro technology movement. The naivete, the audacity, the sheer non-winning DNA of being someone who shits on new technologies with the hopes that they don't happen because you're concerned of how it's going to disrupt or hurt your business has been the great vulnerability and downfall of many. And so for me, I think it requires curiosity, humility, and most of all, like, pull up your big boy pants and realize you have no choice. That's where I'm at on this issue. And so what I would say to them is good news. You're not behind. You know, it's never a bad time to catch up. Why do most people not jump? They don't want to lose. Instead of understanding they might win. Never choose money. It's always wrong. Obviously you have to put a roof over your head, provide for your children, I get it, but most people regret money decisions. Always, you know, start leaning more and more into your intuition. Choose peace of mind and lightness over anything that is fancy. Again, money, things like, I'm just fascinated that people continue to believe a nicer car or a nicer handbag or a nicer watch or a nicer home is some unlock to this peace of mind. I think we're starting to get to the early stages of people realizing it's the wrong game. I love ambition, I love building. I'm trying to build the biggest stuff of all time, but I'm not looking to have money close the gaps of my emotional shortcomings, right? And I think that, you know, for people that are navigating this, like, I think people compromise. I think they compromise their values, and I think they compromise their peace of mind for the perception that something tangible or financial is some greater journey. And I think it's very clear that it's not, and I hope that even one person was inspired by someone who's outwardly very financially and professionally successful. You know, gee, I think you'd be blown away by how detached I am from my professional success, from my notoriety. I do not get my validation from my monies or my followers or my fame or my accolades publicly or privately or digitally or physically. I get them from knowing who I am, how people talk about me behind my back that actually know me, and that level of like 1950s simplicity has made me financially successful, not the other way around. And I hope that people will rewind these last 2 minutes out of my mouth, because they are the golden nuggets that I was taught by my elders and society at its best, and it is the message I want people to absorb.
Well, I hope they do, and there you have it. Authenticity, inspiration, and relatable conversations with Gary Vee. Thank you so much for being a Liftoff.
Thanks for having me. Pumped about Substack because I'm happy for writers, even though Substack is becoming more of an overall social network because they got video. The fact that people that write fiction and nonfiction or journalism can actually get people to pay them $1.99, $3.99, $6.99 a month, that's now accepted. Not all content is free. And like, people can make a living. They used to be a third-tier writer at a magazine that wasn't giving them a chance, now can be a personality on Substack and like keep all the economics for themselves. I'm intoxicated of this opportunity for writers. I am not one of those people. My writing comes from me talking and being turned into writing.
So, how are you?
Well, brother, it's great to see you.
Great to see you.
Looking good. What's up, brother? I know we got a quick second.
Yeah. No.
We don't need to film this if it's like something private. I'll see you tomorrow on
I need
Tingley
one.
at my
I
club
need one more
downtown.
thing.
Yeah.
A picture of us.
100%. I'll see you
Thank you,
tomorrow
bro.
night.
Always.
I'll get to know you tomorrow
Right,
night.
man.
I'll see you
Right
guys
on,
for
man.
some drinks and some food tomorrow night. To be dead serious, here's your answer. In 1995, I went into a dorm room because there was some commotion, and they're like, "You got to see this." And I've heard of it like a little bit, like on the news or something. The World Wide Web, the information superhighway. Bro, I did not own a computer. I watched someone go on the internet on AOL. Like, I stood behind him on a desktop computer and heard that shit, if you remember, and watched a human go on the internet. And I was like, what the you know, like quick. Like, I was like, and then I waited an hour because everybody got like 5-10 minutes to fuck around, and I sat down. It's changed my life, brother. I fucking just typed in like buying baseball cards, and we didn't even go to the web. We stayed in AOL, and I found a bulletin board where people were like, Eric Davis rookie card, $9. Like, looking for Donruss 82. I was like, what is, like my brain was, and I was like, is this that Prodigy shit that some kid told me about a couple years? Like, this is real. I'm giving you my internal thinking. And bro, 20 minutes later, I swear to God, on my kid's health, I was like, this is gonna change my life. That's it. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. I just knew that every fucking person on earth was gonna do this shit, and that I had to figure out how to use it for business. And the two things I used it for were the only two things I knew. I found eBay a few months later and started posting and buying and flipping. And I started trying to convince my father that we needed a fucking website for a single store liquor store in New Jersey. And I registered winelibrary.com. That was a name I was kicking around with my dad because I wanted to change our store from Shoppers Discount Liquors. And we launched one of the first 5 e-commerce wine stores in the country. I think it's everything, which is why I went on a soapbox a decade ago and said 8th place trophies are, and I got shit on heavy at first because I was doing it when it was super accepted.
Right.
I take it to the extreme. When my son was coming up the game, if there was a kid that cried when they lost, I used to like, with the parents' permission, because you get friendly with the parents, I would be like the uncle friend and be like, it's good that you're crying, kid. Like, don't listen to your parents. You know, if the parents were okay with me going there, I would go there. I had multiple parents were happy that I was doing that for their kid. They themselves couldn't do it. And I would talk to the dads a lot and be like, yo, like, do you believe that I'm like, because we would talk about these things. Like, I think if you have a kid that cries when they lose in sports, you've been given a blessing. Mm-hmm. And I think you should compound that, not suppress it. Teaching your kids that nothing matters is a bad idea, leads to depression. So it's just a game, fuck you. You say that to me, I'm 50 right now. Bro, if someone said to me around a game of Monopoly tonight. Let's say me, you, Train, who's filming me right now, and you brought a friend, and the four of us played Monopoly, and I started getting a little kooky because you made a trade that was inappropriate, because you know Monopoly gets weird, and I was starting to get cooking, a little angry, and one of you were like, bro, it's just a game. I'm like, fuck you, man, this is life. When I play, I'm playing for life. It's fucking Roman Empire, Gladiator. So, you know, I think sports is everything, but I think parents got involved. Too much yelling at the coach. Let the coach cook. Even if the coach sucks. Here's a good one. And I've had it. Coach sucks. You know how I've dealt with it? This is good for Xander. Let him deal with a sucky coach. Because you're gonna have a sucky boss. Dad's gonna have a sucky day. You're gonna have a sucky governor one day in your life. Like get used to people that have authority or leverage over you. You're gonna interact with a sucky policeman. You're gonna have a sucky doctor. Like, how about practicing how to address, like, you have fucking 27-year-old men throwing temper tantrums because they never were taught how to deal with sucky authority. As you saw, a lot of people think losing is good for learning. I think losing is good for losing, like just like actually liking losing. Like falling in love with your humility, you know, checking yourself, enjoying the trying to figure it out next time. Like losing in itself, forget about the learning. I think, yeah man, the bags under your eyes, the gray hairs, that's like a life lived. I believe in that shit. And so I think the reason one can succeed often is so predicated on their stomach of their relationship with losing. Adversity is the foundation of success. 8th grade, me and John Churchak and Jason Riker went to the Phillipsburg Mall to buy a table for a baseball card show. And we had no idea how much the table would cost to set up on Saturday and Sunday at the Phillipsburg Mall. Even though the show was Friday and Saturday and Sunday, we had school on that Friday a couple weeks later, so we couldn't do that. Maybe we could go at night, but I couldn't, so da-da-da. We're driving to the mall, and we all agree that if it's more than 50 bucks a table, we're not doing it because that's crazy. And remember, with inflation and everything, this is rural New Jersey, 89, like 50 bucks was a lot of money. Like for kids that are listening, 1,000 is what it felt like, all right? We get to the mall, we're asking some of the mall people, where's the baseball card dealer for this show that we were supposed to meet? Because we knew he was there, because they were setting up for another show. And we found him. This enormous man comes out. I'm talking 350 pounds, t-shirt covering half his belly, like out of a fucking movie. I'm 4'4" in 8th grade, right? And we go, how much is the table? And he goes, 150 bucks, and we've got one left, and it's not in a great location. I'll be straight with you boys. Before he says you boys, I say we'll take it. He shakes my hand, he walks away. I don't know if anyone has ever looked at me with more disgust than John Churchak and Jason Riker at that moment. To this day. I'm all who I am, you know who I am now, so it makes sense that I did that. But that night, an hour later when I was home, I was shitting my pants. I'm like, we're gonna lose all this money, this was so stupid. Like I was 14, I was 13. We go do the show. At 9 a.m. the mall opens. At 11:30 a.m., because we all had our own cards, we all shared a table. At 11:30 a.m., I have sold $200 in trading cards and made $150 in profit. My life has never been the same. That was it, brother. That was my first win. My father, who was like really not, I talk about this a lot, was not around a whole lot. I caught him the night before, and to his credit, he said, you're gonna lose this money, but you're gonna learn. And I remember that very vividly, but I did not lose. And at that point, you know how a shark can like sense one drip of blood in the ocean from like a trillion miles away? That morning in New Jersey, Phillipsburg, New Jersey, which is really Pennsylvania. It's by Easton, Pennsylvania. That morning, in that mall, in 1989, was the fucking moment of my life. In hindsight. Haven't thought about it in a long time, but that was my first win. That's when I knew who I was, and I'd become that person. I believe the blockchain has a chance to help us because we're all concerned about, look, if none of us, like I believe this is true what I'm about to say. In 4 years, 2 years, 3 years, somewhere in this range, all of us, me and you, brother, and everybody else, we're not gonna believe a single video on the internet, not one. I think that has incredibly big social ramifications. Video proof has been the judge and jury of our society for 100 years, and I think it's been a healthy one. So I'm concerned about that as a citizen. The blockchain, what it does better than anything is it proves provenance and it proves ownership, and it's a ledger. I don't have it all figured out in my head, other than I do believe there's a scenario where a lot of videos are gonna be minted on the blockchain to prove provenance. So when I on the internet see a podcast with me and you, and it is on your blockchain address, I'm like, oh, that is real. And so I'm hopeful that the blockchain can really be the hero of something we're all concerned about. Number two, while we're on it, AI is going to save millions of people's lives as it starts to go into the world of medicine. Many people who are scared about what it's gonna do to the art of our television commercials or our social media commercials will be happy to hear that it's saving your grandma's life for another 10 years is far more valuable than our beloved advertising. And so I think AI is going to be a net positive with many shortcomings like every other big invention, but it will be net positive, and I hope people go with a little more practical optimism on this issue versus being selfish and worrying about if it's gonna take money out of our pockets as an advertising industry.
Gary, in your honest story, thank you for your time. You've got to go and be a superstar. Great chatting. Thanks for your time.
Cheers, mate. Thank you for your time. Wishing you health.